I feel like one of the big news pieces, obviously, is the jet from Qatar, right? The Trump jet. I feel like we have to talk a little bit about the Trump corruption, okay? Because this jet is crazy, okay? I mean, in a nutshell, there is the royal family from Qatar is gifting the Trump administration a Boeing 747. It's like a fortress in the air. It's a $400 million plane. And Trump is going to use it as Air Force One, and then it's being donated to the Trump's presidential library. So he's keeping it afterwards. Like, the corruption of this is absolutely unfucking precedented. Unprecedented. It's the biggest foreign gift ever received by the U.S. government. And it's not even a gift to the government. I mean, it would be bad enough if it was being given to the government and it was staying with the government. But the fact that this fucking thing is going with Trump when he leaves, a $400 million plane. And now, you ready, guys? It gets worse. It gets worse because, okay, we have the plane, but you see who's trending down here? You see how Pam Bondi is trending? You know why Pam Bondi is trending? Because Pam Bondi was a lobbyist for Qatar. Okay, she was being paid $115,000 per month as a lobbyist for Qatar. So you have the president of the United States receiving a $500 million gift, okay, through his attorney general, who's handling the legality of this, a woman who was a paid lobbyist for Qatar. And then Trump is keeping this thing after his presidency is over. And what you have is you have a president and an attorney general colluding to receive the largest bribe / gift ever in the history of U.S. government. And it's fucking disgusting, bro. We'll watch a video, but dude, we're going to have to go to Laura Loomer's page because most of MAGA is doing what MAGA does, right? So most of MAGA is just falling in line. Nobody's questioning this thing. But Laura Loomer is having a meltdown. She is having a meltdown because what's crazy about it is her Islamophobia takes precedent over all things. So even though it's a Trump thing, even though she may not call it out, because Qatar has a long history of funding Hamas, they funded Hamas to the tune of a couple $2 billion. So there's a deep sort of Hamas connection that Laura Loomer is, right? I don't even know if she would have cared if the plane came from anywhere else, but the fact that it's coming from a Hamas supporting country is really hitting Laura Loomer in the feels hard. Dude, but she is melting down. So we're going to look at some of the MAGA reaction because I think it's really important with all their talk because remember, guys, okay, we just watched 2 years of investigations on the House Oversight Committee, right? Comer and Jordan investigating Biden, investigating Hunter Biden. They were looking at the loan to Joe Biden's brother for the truck. They were looking at who bought Hunter Biden's paintings. They were concerned that somebody in a company in a foreign country bought some of Hunter Biden's paintings, and that meant that Joe Biden was giving some sort of influence, right? And now their fucking president is taking a $400 million plane directly from a country that his attorney general was $100K a month lobbyist, okay? And they are not
having a problem with it at all. They're not going to say peep.
This is my question. I know it's kind of naive at this point to ask, is this legal? But is this legal? I mean,
do they not need congressional approval?
We have an emoluments clause. If I try to take out a civil servant to lunch, you know, I think they can't accept more than $20 or $25, some de minimis thing. Like, how is it that a president can accept a 400?
Well, that's what
yes.
I say. Anyone who's worked for government, which I have at multiple levels, you know, a $25, $50 lunch is something that you've got to be able to explain to somebody.
Right.
So the fact that the president is getting a tricked out plane from another country, and to your point, he's going to take it with him once he's left the White House.
Yeah, that's the crazy part, that it's not even a gift to the U.S. government. It is a $400 million gift to this specific man, okay, that is coming with him, right? He is now indebted to the leaders of Qatar for $400 million.
That has nothing to do with the American people. This is really just about him. And I think about this, you know, people talk about prosperity gospel. This is like prosperity politics, right? That as long as he's doing well and the body sees him doing well, then the body's going to be good. And that's just not the way it works. That sort of trickle down sort of wealth, that's never happened in the history of our country. And so you get the sense that, well, this is really just about him. And this is why I think it's so important for Democrats to just constantly keep putting their, you know, paying attention to this and pointing this out. He's going to keep doing this and sort of the accretion of all this wealth and favor. But what happens to the ordinary person? What happens to the grassroots family on the ground that voted for him because they thought he was going to make their life better?
I'm just curious if anybody's going to fucking care, right? Because it doesn't seem like a lot of the people who voted for him are even concerned if their lives are dog shit, right? Just as long as their savior Trump is mean for them, you know, they don't care.
And then the craziest thing of all this is that Laura Loomer is the one that's calling out the president. She put out this tweet. I don't know if you guys saw. I don't know if it's a tweet or a post on some social media platform, but she's basically, you know, saying this is really going to be such a stain on the administration if this is true, if he's accepting a plane from the government of Qatar. So when Laura Loomer,
I know,
I can't even imagine this, but you said it perfectly.
I mean, she's now the moderating voice on this.
Dude, it is pretty crazy. Like, think about that, guys. Because this is now, I swear, this is like the third time, okay? This is the third time that I believe I've seen Laura Loomer come in and be the voice of reason. Like, the Trump admin is they're being so reckless and so out of pocket that the person reining them in time and again is Laura fucking Loomer. Like, that is mind-blowing to think about because she is insane, okay? She is absolutely fucking crazy, and she has consistently been the one who is, like, calling them out and actually trying to rein in some of the behavior. Let's start with this one because I thought this one was wild. She says, I love President Trump. I would take a bullet for him. But I have to call a spade a spade. We cannot accept a $400 million gift from jihadists in suits. The Qataris fund the same Iranian proxies in Hamas and Hezbollah who have murdered U.S. service members, the same proxies that have worked with the Mexican cartels to get jihadists across our border. This is really going to be such a stain on the admin if this is true. And I say that as someone who would take a bullet for Trump. I'm so disappointed. Now, there's a lot to unpack here because, again, like I said in the very beginning, Laura Loomer's real issue with this is not even the gift. It's the fact that she considers them to be like jihadists, right? They are, in her eyes, all of those satellite nations there in the Middle East that are sponsoring these terrorist groups, anything connected to Islam. Laura Loomer draws a hard fucking barrier
with the Islam. Okay, that's her chief thing. It's not even the corruption of this. It's who's giving Trump the money. But here's the thing, though. She said it twice. As someone who would take a bullet for Trump, can we just think about that for a second, right? This is a young woman in her like early 30s, and she's just out here, I will take a bullet for Donald Trump, for this 78-year-old man. Why? Right? You know, I'm trying to understand a 30-year-old woman and her obsession with like taking a bullet for this old smelly ass man walking around his little Uncle Sam suit costume, right? Like, what is possessing a 32-year-old woman to be so obsessively protective? Oh, I would take a bullet for Donnie. It's so weird, dude. It is so weird. She calls out Pam Bondi too. She says, not only will the president of the United States be flying around on a $400 million jet paid for by Qatar, but don't forget, our own U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi was once a registered foreign lobbyist on behalf of Qatar. Bondi was compensated $115,000 a month. Dude, $115,000 a month, bro. As a lobbyist, like, goddamn, bro, I'm in the wrong business. Can I please be a Qatari lobbyist? All right, sign me up. Qatar has given over $1.8 billion to Hamas over the years. That's an incredible amount of influence for Qatar, a country that harbors Islamic terrorists, to have with our most senior officials, especially given the fact that Islam is completely incompatible Western civilization, Judeo-Christian values, yada, yada, yada. And then she says here again, she says, everyone knows I don't make claims unless I have hard receipts. Pam Bondi, U.S. Attorney General, was a registered foreign lobbyist on behalf of Qatar. She was compensated. Yes, we know that, $1.8 billion. Again, oh shit, dude. So Pam Bondi blocked. This is crazy. So she already blocked Laura Loomer a week ago, 9 days ago, over the Epstein situation. Ladies and gentlemen, the Trump-appointed Attorney General of the U.S. just blocked me because I'm holding her accountable for lying about releasing the Jeffrey Epstein files. Wait till you find out how she lobbied for Qatar. But it's really disappointing that our Congress, you know, confirmed Pam Bondi to be the Attorney General. This woman with these massive conflicts of interest, being a lobbyist for, you know, Middle Eastern country, $115,000 a month. She was involved in like hushing things, the Trump University scandal, where she took a $25,000 campaign donation and then she didn't prosecute Trump over the Trump University. It's like all of these corrupt and major conflicts of interest and just questionable, shady behaviors. And yet the U.S. Congress confirmed this woman, okay? They probably would have confirmed Matt Gaetz too, you know? I mean, they don't care. What is up, guys? Thank you so much for watching. If you like the video, you want to support independent resistance media, you know what to do. Drop that sub, hit the like button, and please share it. And we do love our members, so if you want to become a member, it's another really great way to support. Thanks again for everything, guys. I'll see you next time. Let's go.